Hi. So today I want to talk about for the younger generation, if you are in your 20s or early 30s and you have just started your job or you have been earning for some time. So how to do your financial planning? That is what I think I should cover it. So let's say if you have a full 1 crore or even if you don't have, or you are just at that stage of earning or putting away your first few thousands every month. So one big question comes to everyone's life is that how do you plan your money? What's the smartest way to protect it, grow it, and still enjoy your 20s or 30s? So that's what we are going to exactly break it down today. By the end of this video, you will know how to structure your finances, whether you are starting small or already sitting on a big amount. So let's talk about the step one, that is the first principle of money. So before we jump into the numbers, it is always good to lay down the foundation. So money planning has basically three layers. One is protect, that guard yourself from any kind of disaster or emergencies with insurance or liquid fund as an emergency you have kept it for, which you can call it emergency fund. This is the first step, that you protect yourself from disasters or unseen expenses. Second is stabilize. What do I mean by that? So I mean structure your debt, control lifestyle inflation, and decide on an asset allocation. And the third part is where I come to say that it's a grow, that is invest wisely, compound over time, and build freedom. So first protect, stabilize, and grow. And this same framework works at every level. Whether you are having already a crore, you can apply these steps, or even if you are started saving per month 5,000, that's also you will apply the same philosophy or framework. So the only scale changes, the philosophy remains the same. Fine. So this is the first principle. Now we'll talk about something on the very basic. The first step which everyone should take is that is the insurance. Before you save, you need to protect yourself from the disaster or unseen expenses. So where that is where the insurance comes, your safety net. You can think of an insurance as a foundation to your financial house. So without it, any storm can wipe out everything. So in insurance, there are three types basically. Generally, we call it, first is health insurance. So I would recommend, even if your employer provides it, you should buy your own independent health insurance. Minimum 5 to 10 lakh basic cover is fine. And additionally, you can take super top up on the top of it. So it will keep your cost low. At the same time, it will give you much better cover. So basically, it is not only about hospitalizations and expenses, it is about protecting your finance from any kind of unseen expenses which may arise or may not. Second is term insurance. A term insurance, I would say, if you are in an early stage of your career and if no one depends on your income yet, I would say avoid it. There is no need for it. If you have no one who is dependent on you, then you don't need a term insurance. But if you are thinking that in the near future, 2 to 3 years down the line, you will get married and you may have dependent for your income, then it is better to go with term insurance. Now, how do you decide on the term insurance cover? So basically, you will see that the company, even if you approach, they will see your yearly income and accordingly they will give you the maximum cover which they can provide. I would say anything between 1 to 2 CR is 2 CR cover is good enough. You can go with that. And the third is accident or critical illness cover. Now, this is a bit tricky, I would say. If you have any kind of family history of any critical illness to your mom's side or dad's side, I would say take it. It is much better to get an additional cover than regret it later. So by insurance, what we are doing is we are just trying to cover the risk, minimizing the risk, which can dent to our financial corpus or the financial house which we are building. One critical point which I would like to say here is always keep things simple. Don't try to combine insurance with investment. Don't go for ULIP. Don't go for any endowment policy or any money back policies. Okay. What happens is you lose on the both side. If you go for those kind of policies, so you might earn sub return, basically substandard return in the long run, plus your coverage will also be costly and it may not be adequate also. So better to avoid those things. Always go for simple plain term insurance and health insurance or any critical illness cover. And at the end, I would say another on the insurance side that you don't need to go for only a government company, or you can go for any private company also, because at the end, if it comes to the fight with the insurance, the IRDA, the organizations that will help. So any company is fine. You can see, you can compare, choose the lower one. You see the another matrices which has come, like percentage of approval paid or claim paid. So all those things are gimmicky. So I would say that you just go for by the premium amount which is costing less. You go with that. That's fine. Now step 3 comes emergency fund. So see, life is unpredictable. It is more like a poker, right? So you do everything and at the end, the result will not be under your control. So losing a job or sudden medical expense. So emergency fund comes as a cushion there. So a simple rule of thumb is 6 months of expense, whatever you have, keep it aside in a very liquid fund. So liquid fund means you don't have to keep it in a saving account. You can keep in a simple liquid fund also, where you can draw that amount if the need arises. Or you can even keep it in a FD also. Break it in a 4-5 FDs and save it, so that even if the need arises, you don't have to break everything, all of it in one go. You can break one and use it as per your requirement. So for example, if you are earning 50,000 or if your expense is 50,000 per month, then I would say 3 lakh is the amount you should keep aside. So where it helps, this emergency fund, see, there is something called risk of return. Basically, we call it the sequential risk of return. So what happens is, if you keep your fund, so for example, if you are already sitting on, let's say, a big amount, so you have saved it up and you have, let's say, 1 CR with yourself, do you really need to keep the emergency fund still? I would say yes, because what happens is that saving, whatever you have kept, it may be market linked. So you may have saved it equity fund, or you may have kept it in gold or something. So what happens if the emergency arises, you won't be forcefully exit from that scheme when it may not have the right time or the right return which you are expecting. So it is better always to keep some funds as an emergency fund aside. Now the step 4 which comes is asset allocation. Now this is the core engine, I would say, for this financial house which we are building. So how do you split your money? See, for a starting point, I would say that you go with 50-60% as equity. Okay. Keep 25 to 30% as debt, 5 to 10% gold, and the rest 5% in cash or liquid fund. And when it comes to equity, I would say that you always choose index fund or ETFs. And if you are a bit aggressive, then you can go for mid cap and small cap fund, but don't go overboard with that. I would say keep it like if you are investing 100 rupees to equity, not more than 40 rupees should be in your mid cap and small cap segment. Now, many of you may not like this given the past few years return, but believe me, you will thank yourself in the later stage of life. So this structure actually balances growth with stability. And if you are a bit DIY type, which I actually urge everyone to become, you need to know few of the things, terminology, understand how the scheme, how the mutual fund works or equity works or the gold works or the debt works. It is always a good thing. So while spending or while doing this equity asset allocation, I would say keep a very simple rule in your book that, see, if you see the equity market right now, it's a very high valuation right now. So I would not say that you go ahead and do the equity allocation right away. So you need to build something like, okay, if the P ratio of index is less than 18, I would be maybe 30% or 40% in the equity. If it goes below 16 or 15, then I will be 80% equity, something like that. So whatever is the rule as per your comfortness, and you can check with the return. Now you have an AI, you can ask those things and you can get a very nice backtest results also. That what happens if you invest while the index P or Nifty P is at 23 versus when you invest when the index Nifty P is at 16, and you can draw your own conclusion. But I would say a bit of timing, where here I am going actually a bit not what the book says or the lot of advisors says. I would say go a little bit of time, because see, if you do all the SIP, which the mania is going on in the country, you will end up poorly in the long run. The reason being is, see, if there is a crowd which is attracted towards something, and if they think it is good, it is the best thing in the market, believe me, it will not be. So do your little bit research, build your rules, and try to make your asset allocation as per your comfortness, as per your understanding. It will be much better. Now this is when you have already saved, let's say, a big sum of money. If you haven't and you are just building or saving from salary, you can do the same thing with whatever, let's say 60,000 you are earning per month and your expenses is 30,000. So your saving potential is around 20-25k. I am expecting 5k, it will go somewhere. So how do you split it? First, build a emergency fund for the 6 months. Then next, buy health insurance. Then third, you can start SIP. Okay, and as per your asset allocation, you can divide that money and do that. And another point I would like to add here is this. See, while your salary grows, you increase your SIP or increase your asset allocation in equity and debt or gold, whatever, you increase your saving, not your lifestyle inflations. Okay. So just because your salary increase, don't go overboard and buy the big car or TV or whatever. Okay, hold on. Keep your money with yourself. Try to learn how to keep the money. There are lots of avenues to spend it, and you will be thankful to your younger self that you saved prudently rather than spending everything or all of it, most of it, in something which gives you some pleasure right away, right now. Now there is some rule of thumb, I will say. There's some good debt, there is some bad debt. In your 20s, try to not take too much debt with a credit card. If you are a person who are not very disciplined, I would say avoid credit cards because they thrive on your indisciplined behavior. Good debt, if you are building a home, let's say, in your native place or whatever, wherever, then home loan, I would say it's a good debt. You can take it. Or education loan, it's a good debt because it increases the potential for your earning, right? And in today's era, I would say even a car loan is a basic necessity given the kind of road condition and given the kind of city infrastructure we have. So we can add even car EMI as a good debt there. So what you need to escape from is that lifestyle inflation. If your income doubles, don't double your expense also. So your saving rate, that percentage of your saving should grow. That is the real wealth builder. Now, with this, we come to the step 6. This is where I will say that the fire mindset and the life philosophy comes. So let's a bit zoom out. Okay. See, money is not just a math, it's a philosophy. Okay. So you have two broad choices. One is either you enjoy life now, so spend freely on travel, luxury lifestyle. Your wealth grows slowly over time, but you are optimizing your experiences for your experiences today. That is one way. The second one is fire, that is financially independent and retire early. It's a fire fast. So you save aggressively, invest heavily, and reach financial independence early. You will become time rich sooner, but you will sacrifice some comforts now. So these two extreme path, both has its own pros and cons. Okay, and neither is right or wrong. So the important thing is awareness. So if you choose enjoyment now, accept that the financial freedom will take longer. Otherwise, if you choose fire, accept that you are trading some present pleasure for future freedom. So this is the trade-off you have to consider and choose as per your comfort or as per your liking. So your life philosophy, which builds around these 2 points, drives your money philosophy and not the other way around. So if somebody lives at the moment, it's fine. I'm not saying that everybody should be saving very highly aggressively and do the fire and all. No. If you want to live life, yes, you should live life. But understand that the consequence of it, your action. That's it. So let's wrap it up. Money, that is protect, stabilize and grow. Protect with insurance, emergency fund. Stabilize with debt control and asset allocation. And grow with long-term compounding. Right? So whether you are saving from your first salary or already managing 1 crore plus, the steps are the same. The only difference is scale, right? And remember, financial planning isn't about copying someone else's path. It's all about aligning your money with how you want to live. Think about the definition of freedom and then design your financial plan to serve that vision. That's it. Thank you.